Good night, everyone. This is the Cutting Edge on Area FM. I am Roger Concrete Asphalt holding the fort for Mutabaruka yet again. Of course, you don't know Muta out in the journey, out in the wilderness as he go out and do his thing, you know. So it's a pleasure once again for me to hold the fort and keep you company until 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. And you don't know, this program is all about black consciousness, and uplifting the pride of the African family, you know. And we try to get the unconscious to be conscious as we here to uplift and liberate mentally, because we have been so much deeply divided, centuries upon centuries, and here we are still as an African people, as a race of people, still at the bottom of the pile, still looking as if, you know, we are nowhere in this world, not looking towards our racial empire. And we are here and we are seeing all the other races coming together. We see United States and Korea joining together yesterday in unity, while we black people still out here in disunity, tearing down each other. The violence, so much wickedness taking place in this country. That boy is a shame, you know. So we're here to uplift the spirits again, as we say, and we go until 2 o'clock. It's a journey, you know, and this journey involves all sort of things. We have conscious music, we have conscious talks, we have conscious affirmations. You don't know, the whole works. So it's a good thing to be here holding the fort for Muta yet again. So we see we're the Vice Chancellor for the University of the West Indies, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles. He's expected to visit London this week on a special invitation from the British Library to participate in discussions on the ongoing cases concerning the Windrush generation. You don't know the Windrush generation that became a topical issue in recent times, because that Windrush generation was that set of people who went over to England in 1948 on the ship named Windrush on its way from Mexico to London, stopping in Kingston and picking up a whole heap of Jamaicans along the way to go over there and rebuild Britain. You know, Britain was coming off a war, out of the World War, and they were flattened. So, you know, the original set of Windrush people were brought over to, first of all, clean up England. And we talk about clean up. There were a lot of cities that were bombed by the German Nazis, and they were flattened, and then, you know, so the Jamaicans went over there and began to clean up England. And after they clean up England, then they start to rebuild. Then, you know, that generation, then after that you have a next generation who follow them. So they talk about the Windrush generation from 1948 to around 1973. So we find a lot of, especially descendants from these Windrush generation, and some of them were still alive. They were not officially made citizens despite being in the country. And of course, a lot of them were facing deportation. A lot of them were sent back home. Just recently, some of them, when this whole excitement built up, we saw where quite a few of them, you know, when shame reached England, then them sort out some of them paperwork. Some of them right here in Jamaica who were ripped apart from them family. When shame licked England, them kind of sort out the paperwork and apology come and a lot of things, you know. So the cry for reparation, this is also forms part of it. So we see where Professor Beckles is going to England on invitation of the British Library, so we look forward to that. And of course, he is expected to lecture the Windrush legacy, rights and reparations at the Brixton Library. And we're looking forward to that, because we need, you know, they deal with us too bad over the past centuries. They ripped us out of Africa, they kill us, they use us, they abuse us, they enslave us, then them spit we out, then them pick we up back again, carry go England, do over England, fix up England, clean it up, then them spit we out again and treat it like we's nobody as African people. So reparations, we continually and continuously supporting the calls for reparation, repairing the wrong that was done to us as a race. All right, that was Barry Salmond and Pam Hall. Of course, we opened the program tonight with Akin Sanya, original Dub Trafficker from Dub Trafficker days. Want to big up all of the man them from Dub Traffickers and downtown, yeah. And you know, so we see where yesterday there was a historic meeting between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un of South Korea, of North Korea actually. This was a first meeting between a US president and North Korean leader in a long time, if ever at all, you know. And we see where yesterday a jubilant sounding President Trump declared that his deal with Kim Jong-un has ended the North Korean nuclear threat, as his top diplomat said he hoped to see major disarmament of the country by 2020. So we say despite the lack of detail or binding term in the joint statement agreed with Kim, which apparently it has alarmed a majority of observers because them say, yeah, all right, the two of them meet, but him say him will disarm by 2020. But that is what him say. There is no real concrete proof to say he will this and he will that. So the observers now are alarmed that Trump is talking in this bullish tone, and you know there is no real concrete thing to say, you know, any disarmament or go on with them nuclear thing in North Korea. Anyway, the two of them meet in Singapore, and that was that yesterday. It was a major talking point in international affairs all day today. And we see where critics are saying this encounter with Kim and Trump was more style than substance, producing a document short and specifics about the key issue of Pyeongchang's atomic weapons. So, and speaking about Trump, you know, we see he's doing things to get back his favorability ratings up. I don't know what to say. Recently, he, of course, you know, he had a standoff with the NFL players in the United States, where, you know, it started with Colin Kaepernick, who knelt while the anthem was being played, you know, in solidarity with the atrocities and injustices that is facing black people in America. We are seeing it every day now because of social media. We are seeing actually the real issue that black people face in America. We never usually hear it, and we usually just say, yeah, all right, yeah, but we are seeing it now because of the advent of social media. Modern lynching, we're seeing taking place almost every day. Whites calling police from black for sit down in a park, for sit down in doorway, for sit down in a lot of things happening. So we see Trump now saying that, watch out, he wants the NFL players now, in time to soften his stance between both parties. He want the NFL players now to suggest names where he can pardon if any injustices that him and his committee deem to have taken any injustices, where they would have pardoned them and clear them and free them. And so he must suggest to the NFL players now that, you know, them suggest some names so that anybody who our injustice was done against them, he would pardon them and free them and so on and let them go. So he's trying to, you know, soften his stance and trying to get them on his good side, but we don't know how much that is working because Colin Kaepernick still can't get a work because of his stance. We see in America where people like Kaepernick, I mean, he's victimized just for standing up or kneeling down in solidarity with injustices against people of a particular race, and in this case it's black people, you know. And speaking about that, we see where the strategist, the Republican strategist Roger Stone, is urging Donald Trump to pardon UNIA leader Marcus Garvey. Now that is a new whole spanner in the works, you know, because with all of the things them that is being said about Trump, if, of course, you know, we say Marcus Garvey cannot be pardoned, he must be exonerated, but I don't know if this is the terminology them using to say, all right, so we say him our pardon. So the strategist is urging Trump to pardon UNIA leader we have this year, what him say. And of course, this man is a long-time advisor to President Trump. And he's making a push to get Marcus Garvey pardoned. Stone has encouraged Trump to consider granting clemency to Garvey, who died in 1940. And speaking about that, yesterday, June 12th, was the anniversary of the transition of Marcus Garvey. We're going to go to that a little shortly from now. But Mr. Stone claimed he wrote to Trump a year ago to consider pardoning Garvey, but the president has yet to respond to the advisor's request. It's unclear what Stone's motivations are, as he is knee-deep in Robert Mueller's Russia's investigations. You know, there's a little issue between a Russia investigation and interference with America business and so on. And Mr. Stone is under scrutiny after boasting about his tie with Julian Assange of WikiLeaks. So, you know, we see now this thing is brought in front of Trump, this thing coming up again about the pardoning of Marcus Garvey. We like to say exonerate, you know, because as far as we see, Marcus Garvey never do nothing wrong. Because of his stridency for the race in the early 19th century. You know, the backbiters and the evildoers and all of the people who were working against him ensure that he met a little Waterloo in America, eventually led to his deportation in 1927 in Jamaica, and so on, because of the work he was doing to liberate the people up there in America and black people generally. So we see now where this thing is on the desk of Donald Trump. So see, you know, Trump is moving from day to day, and you know, he's very, very serious about another term. A lot of people don't like hear that, you know, but it's the reality. You know, that's his reality. So we're seeing, you know, politicians work. I mean, when you're getting closer to the time and so on, them start the things for kind of soften a certain particular stance towards them, to let them look in a good light, and so on. So this thing just pop up our way. So we're watching it to see how that pan out. You know? Yes, as we said earlier, yesterday was the anniversary of the transition of Marcus Garvey, 1940. Yeah. Inspirationalist John the Baptist, who declared Africa so clear, you know, that we should all look to the east for the crowning of a king, because the days of redemption are near. Of course, he was also a major black advocate in Jamaica and admired by several civil leaders who were influenced by his politics, and we can talk about a number of African leaders. We're talking about the Black Star in the Ghana flag, Kwame Nkrumah, who sat at the foot of the lessons of Marcus Garvey. He became the first leader of independent Ghana, you know. So yesterday was the anniversary of the passing of Marcus Garvey, and of course we continue to work with the mantra, up you mighty Ray. All right, welcome back to the Cutting Edge here on IRA FM. And of course, this is Roger Haspel holding the fort for Mutabaruka, who is, I think, somewhere in South Africa. Of course, guest presenter, guest speaker at an event over there in South Africa as he continues to spread the message, you know. So we're here holding the fort until he's back. Tomorrow, I think Dr. Karen Cooper again will hold the fort on the stepping razor. So in the meantime, I am here holding the fort on the Cutting Edge here on IRA FM. So tomorrow is the start of the biggest show on earth. Yeah, them call it the World Cup, and we see all of the flags over the place already, and the excitement building up. First match tomorrow, Russia against Saudi Arabia. And of course, you know, we have a whole heap of interest in the African teams, you know, you don't know. So we see the African teams in the competition this year. We have Senegal, we have Nigeria, then you have the other teams from North Africa, which is Tunisia, Morocco, and Egypt. And of course, Senegal is a team who, remember, the only time they had entered the World Cup was in 2002, prior to now, and they went as far as the quarterfinals. So we're watching to see how far Senegal will go. Also Nigeria. Of course, Nigeria has been to the second round a number of times, but they have not moved on. But they have won numerous world competitions at the youth level, under 17, under 20 Olympics and so on, but them not able to make the transition from the world stage. Yeah. So we wish the African teams them all the best, as the World Cup kick off tomorrow. The excitement, we can't you don't go on like say we want to go around the thing. No, it's not going to happen. The World Cup fever is hitting the world right now. Them call it the greatest show in the world. And right here in RFM is a little mini World Cup store, in terms of the memorabilia that is inside the studio right now as I speak. Getting impressive, So, pick your team. What is your team? As a youth growing up still in my house, in my household, although we are black conscious people now, them time there, it's just one or two, it's just two teams in our house them time. It's either you support Argentina or you support Brazil. As a youth growing up in our household, No, we say Germany, a lot of supporters for Germany and so on, and France, Portugal, Spain, So the World Cup fever on in earnest, let's hope that it will be a world event that, no real excitement in terms of, any risk, to human life and so on. Let's hope that the thing will just go in one piece and hope that the racism stay down, because we know Russia is a very racist country, So we see where the referees, they are empowered to stop a game if any racist chance is happening. They have the power to call off the game for a while, and if the chance persists, then they have the power to call off the game. So we just hope that good sense will prevail, because racism can't work in a football this day and age. Some people still try perpetuate and try, make it feel that it's a part and the whole parcel of the thing. But racism cannot work. We have to kick racism out of sports. Nobody win the race in racism. So we're looking forward to that. So, them say the more things change, the more it remains the same, Slave mill.
Mr. Jones owned a cotton plantation and many slaves. One day he was talking to the owner of the plantation next to his, and Mr. Jones was lamenting the fact that times were tough. He was having to work his slaves harder than ever and was having trouble with some of them being disobedient or trying to run away. The other plantation owner said he knew someone who could help.
Day 1.
One day Mr. Jones called his slaves together so a man named Mr. Smith could talk to them. Before beginning, Mr. Smith whispered to Mr. Jones, "Whatever I say, do not contradict me or interfere, and I promise you your slave troubles will end." "My name is Mr. Smith," he said to the slaves, "and this may be the happiest day of your lives. From today forward, you will no longer be slaves, but free men." Mr. Jones was so shocked he started to step forward, but Mr. Smith gestured for him to remain silent. He did, only because the other plantation owner had spoken so highly of Mr. Smith's skills. "You are no longer the property of Mr. Jones," Mr. Smith continued. "You are free. No more will you be forced to labor for the benefit of Mr. Jones. Now you can work for yourselves." Now the slaves were all murmuring and looking at each other. Many were smiling, many were looking puzzled. "In fact, you are now free to leave the plantation whenever you want," Mr. Smith said. "However, since we are surrounded by other plantations, if you leave, some other plantation owner will likely claim you as his own the moment you set foot on his property. So I urge you not to risk your newfound freedom by doing something so foolish. Instead, I suggest that you stay here, no longer as slaves, but as willing participants and part owners of this plantation. Yes, this is now your plantation." Mr. Jones bit his tongue to keep from objecting. "For now, we might as well leave Mr. Jones in charge," said Mr. Smith, "since he's the only one with any experience at running a plantation, which is quite a complicated thing to manage. But he will no longer be your master, but just another worker on the plantation. In fact, he will now be using his organizational and management skills to serve you. Whatever problems you may have had with him before, you are now all equals, and you need each other to make this work. If we all cooperate and work together, we can all reap the benefits together. In honor of this happy occasion, I present you this new symbol of togetherness and cooperation, this flag, which shall be the emblem of the new free Jones Plantation. He held up the new flag, but most of those listening were still too amazed to respond. And this shall be our motto, Mr. Smith announced. We work together as free men for our mutual benefit, pledging our allegiance to the Jones Plantation, which stands for prosperity, liberty, and justice for all. To celebrate, everyone has the rest of the day off. Enjoy your freedom, do as you please, and be back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, so that we may begin work on this great and noble new endeavor as equal free men. Finally convinced that Mr. Smith was serious, the former slaves applauded and cheered.
Day 2.
We all want this plantation to do well, Mr. Smith said at the beginning of the next meeting, so we can all share in the benefits. We all know that it takes a lot of effort to make a cotton plantation work. Just because you're all free doesn't mean you can stop working. In fact, since you're now working for yourselves, I expect you to work even harder than ever before, but now with pride and joy, knowing that you're working for yourselves. Of course, there still have to be rules. If everyone just does whatever he wants, the plantation won't produce anything. This experiment will fail and we'll all starve. You should be thankful that Mr. Jones has agreed to stay on, to lend his knowledge and skills to this endeavor, and I trust you will all do your own part to make this work. Several of you have been chosen to act as project supervisors, to manage different aspects of the operation, to make sure everyone is doing his assigned job, to make sure that the rules are followed, and so on. The rest of you may head out to the fields to start your first day of work as free men.
Day 3.
The next morning, Mr. Smith had a grim expression on his face as the daily meeting began. I have an unpleasant duty to do today, he said. Yesterday, Charles was caught keeping some of the cotton he picked, presumably to sell for his own personal profit. That is against the rules. That is stealing. For that, Charles must be punished. 2 men tied Charles to the whipping post. I take no joy in this, Mr. Smith continued, but you must understand, if we do not maintain order, if we do not have rules that we all abide by, then the plantation will fail and we will all suffer. The whip cracked against Charles' back. But if we all pitch in for the common good, then we can all prosper. Being free doesn't mean you should be selfish and greedy. We must each do our assigned duties and obey the rules, and then we can all benefit, and each of you will receive your appropriate share of the profits. A young man named Samuel stepped forward. But if you and Mr. Jones decide the rules and whip us if we disobey, how is that any different from what we had before? How can you say that? Mr. Smith asked. I'm shocked. You were a slave before, and now you're free. Things still need to be managed and organized by those best qualified to do so. Do you know how to run a plantation, Samuel? Well, no, he answered. But if we're free, why do we get no say in what the rules are and how things work? I'm surprised at your ingratitude, Mr. Smith answered. None of you know how a plantation is run, so you're in no position to be making decisions about how things are done here. You don't seem to appreciate all the things that Mr. Jones provides for you, from protecting you from all the outside threats that you know nothing about, those who would come here, capture and enslave you, if not for Mr. Jones' protection, to making sure that you all have food and housing, tools to work with, that you're cared for when sick and injured, and so on. There wouldn't be a plantation at all, no cotton to pick, no land to plant and harvest, if not for him. You should be grateful that he's made possible the level of comfort you now have. Your lives would be far worse if not for him. Nevertheless, as free and equal participants in this endeavor, from now on at each meeting, any worker may have 2 minutes to ask questions or voice suggestions or complaints. With that, the workers all seemed satisfied and headed out again to the fields to pick the cotton.
Day 4.
I have a big announcement, Mr. Smith said as the daily meeting began. Mr. Jones' cousin is here, and not just to visit and see how our project is coming along. It has been decided that from now on, you will be deciding who will manage the plantation. Of course, this job can't be done by just anyone, but every 3 months we will have a special meeting at which all the workers will vote on whether we think Mr. Jones should run the plantation or whether we think his cousin, Mr. Johnson, should run the plantation. That means that ultimately you are in charge, because you will be deciding which man you want running things on your behalf. If you don't like the way things are being managed, you now have the power to change it. Amazed and pleased, the workers headed out again to the fields to pick the cotton. Days passed, months passed, a year passed, and the plantation continued to operate as before. Sometimes Mr. Jones was in charge, sometimes Mr. Johnson was in charge, but the day-to-day routine stayed exactly the same. The workers worked hard, long hours every day and still had little to show for it. Every day the meeting would begin with them all reciting the Jones Plantation motto, "We work together as free men for our mutual benefit, pledging our allegiance to the Jones Plantation, which stands for prosperity, liberty, and justice for all." One day Mr. Smith announced, "Samuel is asked to say a few words this morning, and whatever the rest of us may think of his ideas and opinions, we are all free here, and that means we are all allowed to speak our minds. So, Samuel, you have 2 minutes. Begin." Samuel stepped forward, looking scared. "I was excited when all this started," he began, glancing nervously at Mr. Smith and Mr. Jones. "But don't you all see what's happened here? Nothing's changed. We're all still slaves." There were grumbles of disagreement from the crowd. "They tell us what to do and whip us if we don't. They still make all the rules and punish us if we disobey. They let us make suggestions and complain about things, but they never really change anything. They let us choose between Mr. Jones and Mr. Johnson, but what's the difference? The situation stays the same. We do all of the work and they take as much as they want and decide how much they'll let us keep. They live in luxury, made rich by the cotton we pick. We do all the work and have to build our own huts, grow our own food, and take care of ourselves. They leave us just enough that we don't revolt or run away. This is not freedom. We're all still slaves. They've only changed the words they use, but nothing else has changed. They say we're all free and equal, but we're not. They command and we obey. That's not freedom. That's not equality. They say we're free to leave, but all that means is that we're free to be someone else's slave. Why should we work or obey the rules? We didn't agree to this. They made the system. They forced it on us. They control and rob us and call it freedom. They've deceived you into thinking that being able to choose which slave master you'll work for is the same as being free. It's not. Open your eyes. If you keep what you produce, they call it stealing. When they take what you produce, they call it sharing and fair distribution. Can't you see that this is all? Your time is up, Samuel, Mr. Smith announced calmly. At his gesture, 2 supervisors grabbed Samuel by the arms and led him to the whipping post. "I'm sorry, Samuel, but you've broken the rules. There are rules against encouraging others not to work and encouraging others to break the rules. You're only hurting all of us with your discontentment and your complaining and your disobedience." The whip fell and Samuel let out a grunt. "Without rules, without order, all would be lost. Without law, there would be chaos. We can't just behave as wild animals, each doing whatever he pleases. We must all follow the plan and all do our duty for the betterment of everyone. And those who do not must be punished." The whip fell again and blood flowed freely from Samuel's back. "Samuel, it is you who are stealing from the others. When you don't do your assigned work, you are making more work for others. When you disobey the rules, it is you who are endangering the future of everyone else here. You are the thief. You are the criminal. You are the one trying to destroy the arrangement that keeps us all safe and prosperous." At every lash of the whip, the other workers cheered louder and louder, some yelling curses at Samuel. "Being spoiled and selfish, you complain about everything, talking as if you're oppressed. But you are the one ruining things. You are the one keeping us from being all we could be. It is your greed and your rebelliousness that is hurting all of us. They all play by the rules," Mr. Smith said, gesturing at the others. "What makes you think that you don't have to? You think you're above the law?" There were loud yells of agreement as the whip fell again. "We must maintain order," Mr. Smith proclaimed, "to make this plantation great, to make it so that we can all be happy and prosperous. To have the society we want, there have to be rules. We all have to contribute our fair share to this great endeavor, and we cannot tolerate actions and attitudes that seek to undermine the amazing things that together as free men we have achieved and will continue to achieve." Mr. Jones was smiling as he gave Mr. Smith a pat on the back. The crowd was cheering so loudly that none of them had noticed that Samuel had died.
Yes, that was Mr. Jones and his way of easing the problems on the old cotton plantation back in the day. And as you heard, Mr. Damian Marley said prior to this, what you want and what you will. It's grinding slow, but grinding still. The more things change, the more they remain the same. And it is just that it evolves, you know. So they are free, but we're still under the shackles of the remnants of the British system, which leaves us with the two-headed monster in Jamaica right now, which is the 2 Ps. Yeah. All right, this is the Cutting Edge on IRA FM. Roger Haspel here, Concrete Asphalt, holding the fort for Mutabaruka. Yeah, we're going till 2 o'clock. And it's a journey, of course, you don't know. So we see where Google has announced that it is opening its first African Artificial Intelligence Center in Ghana later this year. We see where the Google boss, Sandor Piquet, said that the multinational was really looking forward to opening this center. So the center will open later this year in Accra. And it said in an official, that is Google that is said in an official statement, they are committed to collaborating with local universities and research centers as working with policymakers on the potential uses of artificial intelligence in Africa. The Accra office will join similar artificial research centers in places like Paris, Tel Aviv, of course, and San Francisco. So, okay, it's good to know that they're going on the continent and, you know, making them a part of this whole thing, because you don't know, it's always negativity we always hear coming out of the continent, you know, because we're not so united. That's why people can always, and we just hope that this is not a new form of exploitation and a new form of, you know, neo-colonialism and so on, you know, because, you know, we kind of move past that now, and can't trick me yesterday, them can't trick me today. So I hope that this thing is there for the benefit of the African people on the continent. You know, this artificial intelligence center. You don't know, artificial intelligence is basically it's a thing demonstrated by machines, in contrast to the natural intelligence displayed by humans and other animals in computer science. Artificial research is defined as a study of intelligent agents. All right, so, you know, we hope that, you know, this thing is there for the benefit of African peoples, especially on the continent. And we see now where one of these countries, African countries, they have made a ban on toy guns. Somalia, that is. They are banning toy gun imports. So the Somalia government, them released a circular banning importation of toy pistols, guns, and bombs. The circular warned businesses importing the toys could have wider implications for the country, possibly motivating children to engage in violent acts themselves. So businesses themselves should rather import goods which will help the children learn over the period. And I agree. And I think that this is something Jamaica should adapt to, you know. Yeah, you know, banning of toy guns and all these things, you know. So we see Somalia taking the lead where that is concerned, them getting serious, you know. You have to learn to nip things in the bud, and I think just like how they make this concerted efforts in Jamaica now towards plastic and, you know, trying to eliminate plastic and getting it out of, you know, the system. I think they should look at these things as well, you know, especially how violent our society has become and how, you know, we deal with one another on a daily basis. You know, if we can start get certain things out of the psyche of the children them from early, you know, so that when them grow, this is not a part of the whole DNA and culture. So yes, I agree with Somalia, and I think that this is something that the Jamaican government, you know, can adapt in terms of banning importation of toy pistols and so on. We see them also making an effort against the knockoff shoes. You know, we see where them lock up and charge one of them Chinaman there and so on for illegally selling these knockoff shoes, you know, all of the name brand sportswear them and so on. But I say, all right, them charge them a lot of millions, but how the thing get into the country? it must come through the country and it must pay fee, must pay duties fee and so on. So we not understand. There are certain things we just not understand in Jamaica. These things come through the ports, and I'm certain that these things don't come through, especially with them customers in Jamaica. It checks them easy for them things to pass through, and we know say these things are knockoff and them illegal in Jamaica. All them pass through and come in the system. You know, it's something just not right. You know, corruption at its highest, you know, in Jamaica. All right, this is the cutting edge. Let's now hear from Queen Africa Rebellion. All right, this is the cutting edge here on IRA FM. Roger Hasfall here holding the fort for Mutabaruka. We'll go until 2 o'clock. You know, it's about, 20 minutes to 12 o'clock now. So we'll go back on the continent now and we'll see now where the German government, well, they are planning to, them say that they are planning to deport 25 to 30,000 Nigerians out of Germany. Them say actually them will deport them. This was made known by the special assistant to the president on foreign affairs and diaspora, Abike Dabiri Irera, when speaking on issues affecting Nigerians in the diaspora who are illegally migrating to countries in Europe and Asia without valid reasons. Now, according to Dabiri Irera, the huge number of Nigerians seeking asylum in Germany claimed to be victims of Boko Haram insurgency and gay, but were not convincing the German government enough to accept them. Yeah? She said Germany, there are about 25 to 30,000 Nigerians seeking asylum, and they cannot guarantee that they'll grant them asylum. And so there is every possibility that they will be returned back to Nigeria. So Germany has set up a team working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to see how the whole process can be made easier. The process of deportation, irregular migration might be made easier. So they are offering more scholarships and more routes for regular migration. So we see a response now from Nigeria. I think what them say, it's not so much Nigerians in Germany, you know. Them say there's no 30,000 Nigerians in Germany. And them false claims and them false claims that, you know, there are 30,000 of the citizens as illegal migrants in Germany who are awaiting repatriation. And the head of mission in Germany, Yusuf Tugar, said that Nigeria disputes that figure. To begin with, they dispute the figure of 30,000. That is not the case. And the security advisor to the president of Germany had on May 15 told the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that Germany has proposed a new process that will facilitate the smooth repatriation of the Nigerians. Tugar then said most of those who claim to be Nigerians in Germany were not genuine, stressing that it is easy for other African countries to claim to be indigenes of Nigeria. Anyway, that is that. But you see, we must remember what Germany did to Africa, you know. They were one of the countries that annihilate Africa, you know, with mass genocides, you know, when you're talking about countries like Namibia, you know. Yeah. You know, it's a long story, you know. And we must also remember that Germany was the headquarters, the Berlin Conference, for the Berlin Conference in 1885, where the European leaders met to carve out Africa, you know, the pieces for their own purposes, you know. And we see, you know, these things now, you know, nowadays we're after them do what them do Africa, and them reach where them reach. You know, this is all the treatment that is meted out. This is the thanks that African people get. Refugees, Jimmy Cliff. Yes, man, this is the cutting edge here on IRA FM. So we are in a new day. Today is June 14. Yes, we are approximately halfway the year 2018. Yeah. Many people might say we are in the 6th month of the new year. Seeing that time not waiting on no man. So we have to be on time all the time. You know, so we're opening the lines. It's telephone time. It's first come, first serve. So, you know, we need to reason. And we can have a discussion. We can have a dialogue. So you can call in now, you know, the numbers are there, 9745051. And you can continue down the line. The line is open now. So, yeah, so halfway the year we are now, and we see in Jamaica, where another crime plan again has been put out by the government of this country. You know, we see they put in a lot of measures over the past couple of months, and apparently it has not really put a dent into the crime rate in Jamaica. The killing, the senseless killing continues. You know, we see them extending the Zozo yet again. We see a news come out the other night that some of the Zozo bases were kind of empty. And once you come by the news the following day, they full up back. The Zozo zones. You know, I'm not going to really bash it still, you know. I'm not going to tell no lie, you know. I mean, you know, it's serving a good purpose. But we're still concerned about the high crime rate in Jamaica, you know. We have inherited so much things in this country that everything is culminating to the society what we are now. You know, we don't have no love. How we deal with one another, how we deal with one another on the road, how we drive, everything just interrelated, and we just in our society right now is just anything goes, you know. It's just easy enough for a man just get up and just walk and go kill a man in Jamaica, just so. You know? And, you know, we don't understand why instead of it get better, it get worse. In terms of this violence thing in Jamaica. And, you know, it's like say we can't find no solutions. But there are countries that we can learn from in terms of how they dealt with their situations. We can come as near as New York. New York was one time one of the most murderous places in the world, and right now Jamaica is running hotter than New York. You know? We're talking about places like Rwanda, where over 20 years ago the Hutsis and Tutsis, they were vicious against each other. Almost 1 million of them. And them find a way eventually to sort out them problem. And Rwanda now is one of the leading countries in Africa. Because them can sort out them problems, especially from the crime level. And you know, there are so much countries that we can learn from. But apparently we just not learn, you know. We continue to import the negative cultures, especially from up America there, in our society here. And it's not helping. It just make matters worse, you know. Why we can't import positive cultures from the other society them? We don't understand, you know. We say, even musicians them now, them get caught up in this thing right now, you know. We say a musician on social media, I tell sound man what if I do one, what if I do with them mother and all them something there. What, you know, me not understand, you know, you know, I want to us, Rasta, I want to it, me don't know. We need a social revolution, you know. We lose a generation already, you know. We lose a generation. We have to give up that. You know, we have to start with the baby them, you know. But even the baby them in a danger right now in Jamaica. Because all the while they hear, oh, them a kill off the picnic them in Jamaica too. We in a serious state. We in a serious state. Every day we get up on our coast countries like Haiti. Yet still, you know, I mean, we not say them not have them problem too. But Jamaica is a more dangerous society than Haitian society right now. And I'm not apologizing for that. You know? Yes, man. We need a revolution in this country, a revolution of thought, you know? The leaders, them feel way. So, we get them out of the way. The few conscious people, them can't continue to try to win a one soul along the way. Because we in a royal mess, you know, in Jamaica right now, you know, as simple as the season, you know. Greetings.
Blessed love, my brother.
Blessed.
Yeah, man. You know, say, boy, whether 40 minutes and for around 40. I first me call the program, you know. Yeah, that's how they hide upon it. And plenty and our respect same way, you know.
Same.
Yeah, man. Well, pertaining to the crime thing, you know, my brother. That me want to talk about, you know. Me want give me a little talk on that.
Yeah, man. What you have to say? What you have to say?
Listen, hear me now. You see, all me a check on how the government them deal with this crime thing. If you check, you know, you hear them say how much million US dollar have to spend for go advertise tourism and Jamaica and all these things. When me check it, me I say Jamaica no need no advertisement, you know. Jamaica advertise itself already, you know.
Why? That's another story, you know. That's another story.
Yeah, man, but it's obvious. It's obvious we don't need no open money for advertising.
Why? The man said the $9 million was well spent. Well spent, you know.
But that
I'm gonna buy a plane ticket. Them buy a plane ticket for a man, for this man here. Where costs $400,000 for go New York alone. And that just airfare alone, you know. The money are washing our money, you know. The money are washing our money, man.
Yes,
and we not see them say it is well spent and it is benefiting the Jamaican people, but I don't see it. I don't see it. Yeah.
Them alone see guys same thing me talk about. Me no see how we the little man a benefit. So me no see the necessity for them the whole heap of million. This is just one little 9, you know. Me a talk about the whole heap of the millions where they have a go on and claim it.
Yeah, man, some of them man come for corn, them man come for drink milk.
Most naturally.
Yeah, no counting corn around here.
We them a starve, the small man a get starved every time, you know. You know, see, because we no get none of milk. Little man no get none of milk, you know. You understand? And as you know, the system set that way that in a different ways. It set that we no get no milk. Whether we drink or if spend or nothing to live on, we no get no milk.
The more things change, the more them remain the same, man. You put in one man. You put in one man, now we find fault of a man dead, then you move him and you put in the next man, and the same thing, and the cycle just go round and round and round and round and round and round. Corrupt!
The little man, them go on like say, them no overstand, say, them get the opportunity now to set things straight. Instead, they use the opportunity to join with the big man, them to keep we on that little level there where we now we picnic come out of this illusion our way in him. Because if you put it on the Christian part, you say you have to dead first to go to heaven.
Another foolishness that.
Yeah. So you see, say, in all ways, we no get no, what you call it, we will never develop. We just always
underdevelopment. Yeah, man.
Yeah. And I live in a dream and I pray, say this how we not do nothing.
Yeah, man, this forms part of the whole underdevelopment of our people, man. Not changing.
That, man. Terrible, man. I know them a talk about crime. You can't. If the people them not know where to live, they not nothing to eat. Life not become purposeful again. It come like you just live for nothing. So people them we not have no education, we fi cipher out things and fi make no kind of decision. I just one way them a look if they can't get nothing to eat and know where to live and see next man. All the while them belly full and sitting and them have to, you can't stop crime. You have to set up a program where the little man them have somewhere to live, people. Little people have somewhere to live. Then can earn a decent living where the money can do something. Minimum wage are still slavery now.
Well, that's another story, you know, because
you can't go nowhere.
The minimum wage, the minimum wage don't raise in Jamaica. I got 3 years now, and when the money that campaign are coming, you know, the money say, boy, minimum wage should move to $12,000 to $15,000, and I know it don't move yet $1.
All right.
I know it don't move $1.
Yeah, that just to clarify the fact that a man does attack, create the impression like say him want to make the thing better. But as him get the opportunity, he join with the trendsetter them where set the system already or we keep it down.
Yeah, man.
Like Willie Lynch. I see him think Willie Lynch set a thing as you know. Where for 100 years, where for control we, you know.
Yeah, man. Willie Lynch syndrome, man. 300 years. 300 years, man.
All right. Them is me all out 200 years, 300 years. So you can imagine, say, if the man them will get the opportunity where to help out, we account to the impression where they give. Them go work with Willie Lynch syndrome and as some big bossy slave where feel like say they're in a big position. Fi hold on little people. Instead of them go there fi make it.
It's a two-head monster, man. It's a two-head monster.
You understand?
And the whole Jamaican people them finally realize now, you know, it's a two-head monster, brethren.
I tell you.
The more things change, the more they remain the same.
Remain the same. Me say, brethren, it's terrible, you know?
Yeah, man.
And them enough time me hear them attack, and I mention about some history. And I realize at the same trap them are falling. You understand?
Right.
Yeah. Because it's so obvious you can see it plain. We not going away. We not going away. If you alright, me listen to them a replay some things from some years ago where recorded like some government speech and thing when you take a stock. If you never listen carefully, if you hear the date when they make things that gone already, and you just like turn on your radio and listen, you could have feel say something where in a this time I go and see him where. When it's a long time thing.
Yeah, man. More things change, more they remain the same. But give thanks still. Give thanks. Here we have to run.
Yeah, man. Plenty and respect.
Yeah, man.
Brother?
Respect.
Yeah, man.
All right.
One love.
Yeah. All right. This is the Cutting Edge on IRA FM. And of course, we're still taking your calls. We'll go until 2 o'clock. So, as we say, first come, first serve. Greetings.
Greetings.
Yeah, man. Welcome.
Concrete as far.
Bless.
Blessed love, man. I love how you do the program.
Respect.
Yeah, man. A month of most of your artists are called.
Yes, sir. Great name that you have, you know. Powerful name that, you know. Eh?
Are you cutting edge artists in all the while I call and give out a real African tune, you know? It inspire me to do true music, you know.
See.
Yeah, man, I have a tune called for them, you know, talk about this church thing, or them a brainwash the youth them. So I build one after that now, I give a piece at the night.
Okay.
Alright, I want to say, team, how we up? Me say, never gonna stop, and we're never gonna fail. Babylon a fight, till the Africans prevail. Them tell me God is white, King Selassie I me hail. Them crucify him daily, all when them not no nail. Can't trick the youth with no false image. Kick with the white Jesus like scrimmage. Lick that physics like a medium Greenwich. Give me onion milk and give me the spinach. Power of the Trinity, Selassie a divinity. Rastafari me healing infinity. Lion of Judah, earth's rightful ruler. Haile Selassie inspire them junior. Never gonna stop, and we're never gonna fail. Babylon a fight, till the cutting edge prevail. Until we God is white, King Selassie Raja hail. Them crucify him daily, all when them not no nail. That's why me stay calm and lean on this time. We never get built with hell Babylon gone. Still I see ya guys so we them can't harm all. When I create a Lunina from the revolution start long before me pass. Now I bomber them sound the alarm. Me never call so when me choke on a fi I grade them with in the farm. Never gonna stop, I never gonna fail. Babylon a fight, till the Africans prevail. Until we got his fight, King Selassie we hail. Them crucify him daily, all when them not no nail. Pick up my father Mutabaruka, and when I heard him there. Yes, Raja.
Yeah, man.
Man.
Yeah, man. Bless up, man. Give thanks.
Blessed love.
All right, sir. Mansa Musa. All right, people. We should have started now. Yeah. You know, every year, August 17, IRFM celebrate Marcus Garvey Day. Yeah. And this year, one of our special guest speaker will be Haitian historian Professor Bello. You know, so we have been doing some little intro with her regarding her and what we can expect. So we're gonna hear a little from our guest speaker at this year's Marcus Garvey celebrations, Bello from Haiti.
Well, actually, Haiti's revolution did not begin in 1791. It began the day the first white person went to Africa and began to kidnap people in Africa. They did not just sit down and let themselves be taken away. They fought. They fought all the way to the boat. They fought on the boat. They killed themselves throughout the trip. They killed themselves as they get off the boat, or killed whoever was tying them up. So the fight began the day the aggression, the kidnapping, the slave mentality began to capture people. Now, and the fight went throughout, everywhere. It's not just Haiti. That's another false idea that Haiti did a revolution. But Jamaica fought a lot more than we did. Cuba has much more revolts than we did. But Haiti, the difference, Haiti succeeded. And that is what makes the difference. But all the islands in St. Thomas, 3 women freed St. Thomas in 1773, took it away from the Dutch for almost a year before they were recaptured with the help of France and British Army. The Dutch put the island back into slavery and arrested the 3 women. But people don't know about that. Throughout Brazil. So the revolution is all over. It's not the Haitian Revolution. The Haitian Revolution is just one tip of the revolution against slavery that went throughout the world and received its first major success in Haiti. I would have to say, in the last period, the last string of battles that began in 1492, we have to take three characters, three major people and their surrounding. We have to take, if we take the man, we'll have to take Bookman Duty, who's from Jamaica, whose mother was a great revolutionary woman, was a Muslim woman. And the reason he's called Bookman, the man of the book, is because his Holy Quran that he refused to give up when they sold him out here. So the slave maker burnt the book on his skin. So he was all burnt up all in here, but the mark of the book stayed here. Why Bookman? And since he was purchased by Mr. Duty, then his name became Bookman Duty, the man of the book of the duty. Now for us, nothing, there is just a thing as chance and hazard. So there is a reason why this man, who's going to come from Jamaica, grow up here, become from a Muslim to a Unga, participate actively in giving, being the what do you call, a tremplin, being what you jump over to push the last battle, if you want, to spring, to propulse, I believe. Okay, the last battle. So this Bookman Duty, what is he going to say to us? He's going to say to the Haitian people, God, who has created the sun, who governs the wind, the clouds, he is your father. And he demands that you put an end to this thing here. You must avenge the wrong that has been done to you. Now, we have no other word from Bookman but that one speech that he did on August 14, 1791. So this is the man who brought the word, the clarified word that must be materialized. Fine. And of course, with this, a whole string of fighting and activities begun towards the final march for freedom. Now we're going to go to step 2. We're going to get to a man called François Dominique Breda, born so-called in slavery. But I say no, he was born out of slavery, but when purchased, as they usually do, they changed his name to François Dominique Breda. Fine. He is going to grow. As he began to come into himself, he gets rid of the François. And what is the meaning of the word François? François means that which belongs to, is relative to France and its people. He gets rid of François. We find him Dominique Breda. He continues to fight. He gets rid of Dominique. And we find him Dominique, which means born on a Sunday. And we find him Toussaint Breda. And he gets rid of Breda. As he comes to full knowledge of who he is and take his role as the one who opens the way and traces the road to independence, we find him Toussaint Louverture. Toussaint, the one who has the powers of all the saints, Louverture, to open the way. So, as we step 2, he does his job of opening the way and tracing the road. What do we find him doing in the last minutes, the last days of his existence here? We do not find Toussaint fighting to stay in power. We do not find Toussaint begging Leclerc to keep him here. We find Toussaint fighting so Dessalines will be named a divisionary general. We find him fighting for Christophe to have another rank. We find him fighting to place everybody where they should be. And his last word here in Gonaïve to his godfather, Pierre Simon Baptiste, when Pierre Simon Baptiste asked him, Toussaint, so you're leaving us here, Toussaint smile and say, don't worry, everybody's in their post. The victory is already there. And he stepped onto the boat. So then, Toussaint accomplishes his mission and goes. And then the next person steps on. It is what they call history, which we call our story, which is the story of all life forms on a particular space. So, the R-string is a string that goes on forever. There is no cutting this string. So, Toussaint does his work, and the next guy step up to lead the work of the people that are involved. People from Jamaica, people from Grenada, people from all over the islands have found ways to come in and participate. African Americans from the United States have come here and fought in this battle over here. But all of this is sort of obscured when you have these individual type situations. Women, Toussaint Louverture says to us, women represent more than a third of all fighting troops. Children are the first people to step on any battlefield. Where are they? In the his story that they gave us. We don't see them. But let's go on. The third step is when we get Jean-Jacques Dessalines as the leader. Now this is the person, again, when we take all the stuff they say about him is really, well, but one of the things, the man speaks Yoruba. He makes a choice to have all his closest people Africans, which as a very humorous person, he called his closest troops who are just recently arrived Africans. He called them the Polish troop. Why? Because he says they speak Haitian as poorly as the Polish speak French. So, this is the man who's going to structure the final blow. This man is born for this, raised by a military woman, Agbaraya Toya, whose name as Tantoya, he calls Tantoya, and everyone in that period called Tantoya. This is this military woman from Dahomey who raised him all along and reminded him throughout his life that his destiny is to bring liberty to this land, and gave him the proper training in military and philosophy and spiritual and mysticism as well. So when in this training this man is prepared, the time has arrived. He has been a perfect soldier under all those who came before him. He was an absolutely obedient lieutenant, captain, and colonel to Toussaint Louverture. He has received all his formal military functioning, training, and regulations from Toussaint. He does not do anything that Toussaint does not ask him to, that Toussaint does not order him to, until Toussaint is no longer there. Then it is evident to everyone there is no other person to replace Toussaint and take the lead of the people's movement, and that is this man, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Now, spiritually, when we analyze, just like we analyze Toussaint, and in our own spiritual language, Toussaint is a legba in Vodou. By his name, by his functioning, by his physical appearance, by his speaking all the languages that he spoke, by everything he did, he is a pure living legba. And as we analyze Jean-Jacques Dessalines, he is an Ogun. Ogun is what? That is the principle that brings, once you've set up an objective, once the collectivity has established an objective, then Ogun bring this objective to quick materialization. That is his work. And this is the mission of this man, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. And that's what he does. He says, all right, so now we're not afraid to say the word independence? You guys are ready? He is going to use it one of the first time publicly on March 25th, 1802 in Kreta-Kiewo, when he tells the people, even if you see me submit myself to French domination and authority 100 times, know that 100 times 100, I shall betray them. I promise you, I will give you independence. March 1802. He puts out his word, and his word is bond, and bond is life, and he shall give his life before his word shall fail. So Jean-Jacques Dessalines takes us to January 1st, 1804, Declaration of Independence. Declaration of Independence for the island of Haiti. Dessalines never spoke of a part of an island. The island of Haiti. Freedom for everywhere. When he made his security plans for structures and fortresses to be built, he made them for the entire island. Everything he did for the island. Okay? And he also told another very important thing. He says, today, we are celebrating one independence, military independence. All the other independence have yet to be conquered. He was very clear. Ogu always speak very frankly, differently from a Legba. Legba speaks in very symbolic term, and everyone can take them whichever way they are comfortable with them. But Ogun speak in very direct term. He's usually hated or loved. Henri Christophe, when he's going to take over after Dessalines' death, then Christophe, what is going to, his strength is that he picked up all of Dessalines' plans and executed them. Whereas in the West, Pétion, who was president, who is the assassin of Jean-Jacques Dessalines, he smashed everything that he had started, that Dessalines started. And this is the man who believed in the French, who is begging a slaver while president of this country, while talking about the Black Republic, is begging a Frenchman to recognize him as his son. Now, this is the confused person who brings us to the crossroad of where we are now, that led to where we are now. And that's the continuation of this sickness of wanting to be white, wanting to live out of yourself, out of your own nature, and it's going to be concretized by, this thing is going to reach a higher level when this man is going to agree to pay France 150 million gold francs for an independence that we earned. The year 2004 is important for Haitian, for it is a mark. It is a time, as far as we are concerned, for remembering, going back and studying a victorious time in our lives, so we can pick up the principles of history, put them into structures, and so we can begin again to work as a victorious people. Jean-Jacques Dessalines himself said it, 1804. He said, look at what you did. He did not say, look at what I did. He said, look at what you did. He said, it's not the army's victory. It is your victory. For if you were not there for the army to hide, if you were not there to feed this army, if you were not there to bring him weapons, what would he have realized? Look at what you did. Clap for yourselves. Yes, we have lost this. It's not written anywhere in no manual, history manuals for the children. The children do not know what it is that they did in 1804. I believe if one does not have a good understanding of what has happened in the past, then you are not equipped to build the future. I believe that if your knowledge of history is just blurbs, little bleeps about this president, that president, oh, this one was no good, that one was this one was a killer, then if that's your understanding of what is called history, then you cannot project the future. To project the future, there must be a profound analysis of what has happened and understand the whys of these various events. Then you are equipped. Because I believe our street is in studying our street, we capture a light from the past which shines on the road to the future.
All right, that was Beano Bello. She will be our guest speaker at the Marcus Garvey celebrations in August. Of course, she's a Haitian professor. She still resides in Haiti. Haiti, where we come from. Bigger Haitian. All right, welcome back to the Cutting Edge here on IRA FM. You just heard from the Haitian historian, Bayena Bello. She'll be our guest speaker at the Marcus Garvey celebrations in August. And after that, you heard from Big Eye Haitian, one of Haiti's biggest reggae artists, you know, singing about Haiti, where I'm from. We head back to the lines. Greetings.
Greetings, Roger.
Bless. What's a go on, Mandingo?
Yes, Mandingo. Yes, everything, Roger. Good work as usual. And you know,
respect.
it was very good listening to Haitian Professor Bello, because she was just here recently for Africa Liberation Day, you know.
Yes.
She and Professor Small, they were here in the country. We're in London and in Birmingham.
Yes.
As speakers, some of the speakers for Africa Liberation Day, and she was very good, as you heard earlier.
Yes.
You know. And in 2004, I actually wrote a tribute to celebrate the centenary of Haitian independence when, on the 1st of January 1804, Dessalines, the greatest military leader, you know, after Toussaint Louverture allowed himself to be fooled by the French and kidnapped, he took over the reins and led Haiti to independence.
Right.
You know, and this guy Pétion that she's talking about, he was what is called a mulatto.
Who that Pétion?
So he was very against the Africans, you know, because he thought because he was half French, then he was superior to those who were Africans, like Dessalines, Henry Christophe.
Yes.
And by the way, Henry Christophe was actually from the island of Grenada.
Sid.
Yes. Dessalines was the man who led Haiti to independence. Because one of the things with Toussaint Louverture was that he was not fighting for the independence, you know. He wanted to be part of France still.
Yes.
But Dessalines was fighting for
total.
You know, and that was why the French were able to trick him and tell him to come to some meeting and kidnapped him.
Yes.
But Dessalines and Christophe had warned and said, don't trust the French. And he shouldn't go to the meeting, but he paid that price. And of course, to say it was a man, he was against voodoo. He fought against voodoo. That's a fact. On Monday, so it will be good. Professor Bello gonna be there.
Yes, in August.
For Marcus Garvey's, yes, definitely. And you know, Marcus Garvey is always important to me as the greatest African leader ever. Apart from the fact that his first wife, Amy Ashwood Garvey, is my mother's cousin, and also that his son with the second wife, Amy Jakes Garvey, was my friend and physics teacher at Kingston Technical High School in the 1960s in Jamaica.
Right.
You know, and he and I and others had a paper called the Black Man and our political organization in the 60s known as the African Nationalist Union, and we want to remember Brother Cyril Stewart and other Africans in Jamaica who were members of the African Nationalist Union Party, where we held our meetings on Wildman Street opposite Jamaica Success Club on Sundays at the Mutual Cooperative Hall. Yes, people have to know the history, and big up to all those who used to live at Big Yard, 61 Wildman Street, beside Jamaica Success Club, every time. And I want to heal up the listeners and supporters of the Cutting Edge and IRA FM program, healing up Marcia, originally from Linstead, who is now in Pennsylvania, if my memory serves me right, Marcia from Linstead. Also, Cecil, originally from Jonestown, and who used to live in London, but now lives in Rochester, upstate New York. And all listeners and supporters, Jankuno, yes, brethren, you know, all listeners and supporters of the Cutting Edge and IRA FM. St. John's Road, Massive Spanish Town, Tars Pen, Waterhouse, Wildman Street, Central Kingston, Liam James's Street, Dunkirk, all parishes in the island of Jamaica, all the islands, everyone who support the Cutting Edge. And you're really doing a great job, Roger, in keeping the momentum going, because we know more time Muta has to do other things, and it's good that you are the most ideal person, I'm manding and saying that, to do the cutting edge and the stepping razor when Muta is not around.
Respect.
You are a total African.
Same someone. Straight.
From years ago, I the Mandingo, I'm telling the people this is not Roger talking, I am telling people that Roger is a youth I know from years ago, and he has always been a strong young Garveyite, and he has not changed, he has not switched, so he is most capable of doing cutting edge and stepping razor when Mutabaruka, who used to go to Kingston Technical with I, is not there, for real. And let us remember too that it is the Earth Strong anniversary of Leonard Percival Howell, called the first Rastaman.
Same.
He was born the 16th of June, 1898 in Clarendon.
Yes.
My grandmother's tradition. I noticed that the Rastafari community will be having an annual celebration at Pinnacle out by St. Diego Hill. Heritage site set for 3 days, starting this strong end from Friday evening going through till Monday morning from the 15th to the 18th. So people support this, and are healing up Louise Watson, who live opposite Pinnacle. She grew up as a little girl knowing Leonard Percival Howell. Her nickname, we call her Joyce, but Louise Watson live opposite Pinnacle. Anyone who here tell her say Mandingo to heal her up, because she went to Friendship Government School, St. John's Road, Spanish Town, where my father was the headmaster and my mother the deputy head. That's how I knew her. And she's the one who made me know Pinnacle and carried me over to Pinnacle many years later, in terms of seeing the ruins of the original house and telling me a lot.
Yeah.
Because she grew up as a little girl.
Mandingo.
Pinnacle.
Mandingo.
Yeah.
The Pinnacle. No same place where the highway pass through. Almost. Or nearby.
No, not really, no. You see, we're in Spanish Town, and you go through Thompson over the Iron Bridge, or you take it through Green side.
Yeah.
You're going along
yeah, I know it's where, but I know it's where. I know it's where, but I want to know if the highway is close, because
yes, it's relatively close. It's relatively close.
Okay.
Relatively.
Because all the while I drive and I have an idea, say somewhere around that side, but I can't pinpoint and say, all right, that's a Pinnacle there when I drive on the highway. But to know, say it's near.
What you do is that when you go on that road, leaving from Thompson in Spanish Town,
yes,
and you're going towards Sligoville,
yeah, man.
Just ask anyone to tell you where on the left-hand side is Pinnacle. It's on the left-hand side.
I've been there already. Yeah.
Yeah, man. You know, I'm a man born at Spanish Town, the original capital, and grew there, and in Kingston and certain parts of St. Andrew. And on Monday, there was a funeral service for one of the great reggae bass players here in London, man Ras Elroy Bailey, who was late to rest. He was 59, would have been 16 September, but he had, kidney problems and that type of thing, and he passed away. He was a bass player for a well-known reggae group here in the 70s known as Black Slate, with hits like Amigo and Sticksman and Pablo God Music. Hard Time, he was the one who played bass on it. Very great bass player. His parents were from Montserrat. His father had a band, but he grew up in Hackney, grew up with people from the other islands and so on, and he really embraced and loved reggae music. So the man, one of the great bass players, Ras Elroy Bailey, who used to play also for Honey Boy, one of the pioneers of Lovers Rock, and Winston Curtis and many others. Good turnout. And today, Thursday the 14th, time really flies, makes it 1 year since more than 72 people were killed in the fire at Grenfell Tower, Ladbroke Grove, West London. 1 year. Time flies. So let us remember the more than 72 people, a lot of them our African people from both Mother Africa and from the Caribbean and born here, who were killed in that fire due to social negligence by the council and others. Grenfell Tower. This was the 14th of June 2017. So let us remember them. And I said more than 72 because the government has said it's 72 people. But what has happened? They don't know how many people actually died because, you know, when you're living in a place where you have, it's a social housing place.
Yes.
You will have visitors who come to stay overnight, so who were not accounted for. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
And plus you would have people who were not so-called straight legally who would have been living there. So it's actually more than 72 people. But their identities were not upfront in terms of identification. So let us remember that. And what is going to happen is that this evening there is going to be a vigil, a meeting and so on in honor of the more than 72 people who died at the Grenfell Tower 1 year ago in Ladbroke Grove near Latimer Road Tube Station. Last year, you know, I visited the place and there was a function to commemorate and I was there to participate where that is concerned, you know. Definitely.
Yeah. You know, the 13th, which is today. It is 38 years to the day also, you know, when they assassinate Walter Rodney too, you know.
Yes, brother Walter Rodney.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, brother Walter Rodney from Guyana, man, who was a chancellor hall on UWI, you know, on the campus there.
Yes.
You know, and who lectured in Tanzania and so on. So we have to definitely remember him, you know. And I just want to also say happy Earth Strong belatedly to my brethren from Wildman Street, ever whose Earth Strong was on the 12th, Tuesday the 12th. It's on Tuesday the 12th, just like Bounty Killer's Earth Strong.
Yes.
And you know, from a musical point of view, just telling the truth, not cat, no spoon, but you see, Jack Ure is a youth I knew before him bust, before he become big. Because Barry Salmon brought him to England because Barry saw that he had a good voice and lyrics and so on. And it was after he returned, only one time he came to this country, he performed with Barry because of Barry Salmon. That he got involved and went to prison, as we know, and so on. And he was in prison that he actually bust, as we know.
Yes.
But what I would say to Jack Ure, as a youth who I know, you know, a little youth who I know, is that Jack Ure just be cool and calm.
Sure.
You know, what he had said about all sound man, that was wrong. Because not every sound man is guilty of any wrongdoing, just like how it's not every artist. And don't make things worse by seeking to have a war with the sound man. Because without sound systems, there would be no artists.
True.
Because we make the artists. The sound system is the radio of the people. The sound system who bust artists.
Definitely.
And not the other way around.
True.
Never ever forget that. Without sound systems, no artist would ever be known. Because it's sound system that do it, not radio.
The sound system are the foundation.
Radio refuse to play artists. It's sound system will play and bust every artist.
Yeah, man. The sound system are the foundation of the dance hall.
Well, sound system play the dance hall, and that is why I say when people talking about dance hall, it's because them don't know this thing. The dance hall is a venue, and different kind of music play the dance hall over the years. In the 50s, Tom the Great Sebastian, Count Nicks, and other sounds, and so played rhythm and blues and mento. Later on, it changed to ska. Later on, it changed to rock steady. Later on, it changed to reggae. So when people talking about dancehall, a lot of these people talking about dancehall don't know nothing about no dancehall.
True.
I born and grew up in the dancehall because at Friendship Government School, where I lived on the premises with my parents who were the head teachers and so on.
Mandingo, you know the album?
Play.
You know the album Dancehall 63?
Yes, man, my brethren, King Sit, man.
Aye.
Oh, you mean King Sit, I'm a teacher.
Dancehall 63. I have the album there.
Who called my
Yeah.
Exactly, 1963.
Dancehall.
So don't beat me, role model as a producer.
See that?
Actually, Sir Clement, that actually put that out to show people where dancehall is coming from.
Definitely.
That album, as I say, 1963, King Sit, and those were the songs that were playing in dancehall at the time.
So dancehall is not new.
Dancehall is dancehall music. And heal up my brethren, Leroy Sibbles of the Heptones, one of the greatest bass players and arrangers of Jamaican reggae music, seen and otherwise. And he has a new song out named On My Mind, Leroy Sibbles. So Leroy Sibbles, one of the greatest African Jamaican bass players ever. I mean, full up rhythm, Satamasa Ghana, so many songs. Leroy Sibbles of the Heptones, and of course Heptones, one of the greatest groups ever. Earl Morgan, Barry Llewellyn, and Leroy Sibbles. And after heal up Sylvan Morris, the great engineer from Studio One, having side problems, but one of the greatest engineers ever, for real. And also Ansel Collins, great, the man who carried slide down bar into the studio to play drums for the first time, Night Doctor, that great instrumental in the 1960s, that Sons Junior Sebastian sound used to play, that my brethren Ira used to DJ. That's the first song that slide down bar ever play drums on. Ansel Collins brought slide to play on Night Doctor. You know what I mean? Every time I'm big up slide down bar and Ranchy, Dougie McLean, original revolutionaries, Gladson Anderson of blessed memory. You know, all those great Jamaican musicians, artists and so on. For real, you know, every time. And Roger, what you are doing there is so important. And people keep on fighting to make the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey, that book, be one of the compulsory textbooks in the Jamaican school system at primary school level, secondary school level, college level, and at university level.
Right.
The philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey explains the Black Prince solution of Marcus Garvey and what Marcus Garvey was about for the African race. And this is why enemies don't want Marcus Garvey's philosophy and opinions to be used as a textbook in the school system, because it will revolutionize the minds of the African people in Jamaica and outside of Jamaica to bring us into full independence and emancipation mentally and physically. We have to push and don't stop. And I noticed a dangerous thing that I read that we have to be very careful of. That I noticed that they're saying that the government is saying that the Israelis having a cyber aerospace program that they want to run in conjunction, collaborate with the Jamaican government. We have to be very careful, because in dealing with the Israelis, remember the situation in Palestine. We don't want Jamaicans to become targets by Islamist fanatics saying that we are allies with the Israelis based on this cyber aerospace monitoring and surveillance of people. The government should not go that way, you know. I'm just putting out
a word of caution. Yeah,
we
man.
must be careful
True.
not
I agree.
to get embroiled into the war between what is happening in what is called Palestine and what used to be called Canaan.
Yes.
You know? serious situation. We must be careful of what agreements and what alliances with people, because we don't want to be any collateral damage because of other people's war. We have our own African war that we have to fight to free ourselves, not only in Jamaica, because remember in Jamaica, we're still fighting for total freedom, because we are in a situation where the head of state of Jamaica is not one of us, but is a foreigner, a European, who is the Queen of Britain. And the Governor General does not represent us, but represents her and her heirs and successors. And both PNP and JLP have said that Jamaica must become a republic, and it should be just like Trinidad and Guyana in the Caribbean.
Why?
We must be independent, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. And don't be fooled by any marriage by any Meghan and Harry to divert us from independence. Their marriage has nothing to do with the independence of African people and the education and progress of African people. We must, as Marcus Garvey say, see about our own African matters and our own African affairs. Because Marcus Garvey correctly said, it's all about self-reliance. And by the way, before I close, Michael Rose has another new song called Original, and I'm going to send it to you, Roger.
Yes.
I sent the other one named Zoom Zoom by Michael Rose.
Got it, yeah.
And I want you to play it up. And also, Michael Rose have a song by the name called Original, showing about the originality of reggae music. For real.
Alright, sir.
So, keep on keeping on, and I hope you will be on the stepping razor later.
No, not me. Same person.
Okay, same person.
Yeah, man.
Well, you know that I wish it was you, but I'm glad that you are holding the fort because you are a true-hearted African revolutionary in the mold of Marcus Messiah Garvey, the greatest Pan-Africanist leader the world has ever known. And do not be deterred, Roger.
Yeah, man.
Work and continue to implement the works of Marcus Garvey as he has outlined in the Black Print Solution, in our African Bible, the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey, which must be a compulsory textbook in the Jamaican school system and wherever African people are in the world, Brazil, the US, Nigeria, worldwide.
Yeah, man.
One creator, one aim, one destiny. Up you mighty race, we can accomplish what we will.
Straight.
Emancipate ourselves from mental
None but ourselves can free our mind. Blessed love, Mandingo.
African power.
Every time.
Love.
Black power.
Every time.
Bless.
African power.
Greetings.
You again.
Heal.
It's a Roger.
Bless.
Yeah, I listen to the Mandingo there, you know, and I last half of what I said there. I agree with all what I said.
Yeah, man.
Because that I sit up for call about tonight, yeah.
See?
Marcus get everything here, because I don't know. Like me say, I never hear him talk about this, but this bridging here, when Donald Trump advisor, them I tell him to pardon Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, man, read it earlier, man. Roger Stone. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is with me, is neither here or there with me, because when me feel say we have to select our own era them, and we have to recognize our own era them.
True.
You know what I mean? We don't need them to validate our era.
Yeah.
That's how me look on this, you know what I mean? We don't, because that's one of our big problem, where we and them to validate everything what we do. You know?
Yeah.
We have to have independent thoughts, independent thinking. You know what I mean? I know, so we're two different people with two different experiences. So, I know what
we have to create, as Marcus Garvey said, we have to create our own saints and martyrs, you know?
There.
Yeah, man, we have to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because, you know what I mean, I them thing there. And I never read about this one here, about the where Manding got talk about the Israel government and the alliance. I see the Jamaican government.
Jamaica
with them.
Will put themselves in some serious issues. Right, of course.
We have to be careful, you know what I mean?
Yesterday that the Argentina then pull out our match with Israel.
Yeah,
rightfully so.
We are pushing.
Yeah, them pull out of the match. You know? It should have played Sunday and them call off the game because of this whole Palestine-Israel thing. So it's a serious thing. It's not a joke thing.
But you have to understand, you know. You see, when them come for the blue man them and the yellow man them not say nothing. And then them all of the blue man them gone. Them come for the yellow man them next. You know what I mean? You have to learn to acknowledge the next man oppression. As worse as we as a people we was under oppression. You know? We was a set of people where go through slavery, so me not see why we supposed to arms and gloves of some people where oppress some people.
True.
You know? And some me look for life, you know? Some me always look for life. Because we have to know what we are doing. Because if we don't know what we are doing, we can come back right round per way.
Yeah, man.
And we're in no position right now as a little country for dealing with outside conflict.
No, we can't deal with that.
I mean, we have our own thing about
internal conflict. We're terrible right now. Yeah,
terrible. You know what I mean? And all of this crime and thing is the government fault. You know what I mean? All of this crime and thing is the government fault. I can't blame nobody else. Because you have to, as leader, you have to find a way how to fix situation. You know what I mean? And you can't look for every problem. So you have a hammer, you look for every problem as a nail. You have to figure out different ways how to deal with it. Because I know, say, the youth them in the country, in our country are some talented youth, but them are waste them, and we are waste the youth them talent. And we are waste the youth them, because we now get the youth them now see nothing. The youth them in the ghetto, all them do is know the ghetto. All we need are field trips and them things.
Jimmy Cliff said, treat the youth right, or you'll be playing with dynamite. Yeah.
And that we are playing with that
we are the right now, yeah.
And you hear about the 7,000 people and whatever they put go to Ghana. You read the news, eh?
I read something about Nigeria from Germany.
No, man, from America.
Oh, from America, yeah.
Ghanaian.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Germany said they put 25,000 from Nigeria and from Germany too. Yeah, man.
The thing is, we not understanding what is what. Because here, the thing is, you see them people are set up where them have and make we love it so much and eat what we want and destroy what we have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of them little thing there, you find out all of the people we have little status who are run left them country and go and come so turn second class citizen in them place, third class citizen. You understand? And then when you left your nice little area run down.
Yeah, man, right down.
You know what I mean? And it's a big plan when me feel say somebody else have, because all these tourists are run. You hear them talk about how much tourists are come to Jamaica, and the Jamaican people them tell you so them free to come back to Jamaica. You know? And crime, and we have so much tourists. You have to look for that thing where me I think born in my idea now, because it's a conspiracy theory sometimes. A gentrification, them want to mash up Jamaica to get the land to buy for cheap. And then we were native Jamaican can't find a way to live later on, because the whole light sell out. You know, and all the Prime Minister Virginia as a young youth, you know what I mean? Me don't know what kind of book he used to read or what kind of history he study.
Why?
And him one, you know, the whole of them, you know.
Yeah. Obviously, I get advice still, you know. I get him advice still, you know. But this young man thing, I don't know how much more further it can go. So boy, it's a young prime minister now and this and that. I don't know how much further that can go.
But the people them for read some books. The elite them for read some books. Nobody now read no book. People when they go up online, I go up on Facebook all them time. There nothing wrong when they go up on the Facebook, but sometimes when you just check something positive sometimes.
True,
you know
sometimes,
what I mean?
yeah.
Read something positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna spend 3 hours up online. Just do a little half an hour with a positive research.
And it's the other day me and Elisa talking, we are say right now, everybody, every single soul in this age right now, back in our days when we are go school at Tam Redcan Library and library, we have to go forget information.
You understand?
We have information in our palm of our hand. Once you have your date, you can't get any information at all for any single information. It's in your palm of your hand. I wonder if we realize which power reach in a civilization. You know?
You don't realize.
I just hear negative. I said earlier, we just take in the negative. We just take in the negative. We just take it. We just hark it.
And we don't understand the power of the conscious mind and the subconscious mind.
You see what I say?
You know what I mean? Because, all we do is just gravitate to, you know what I mean? And whatever know say what we are doing, whenever we want to do it. Where they put in our head.
Man.
Because you have to understand the power of marketing. You know?
Man.
The power of marketing is a dangerous thing, advertisement. You do things that you don't know, say, that you want to do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because Mutas are talk about this tear pants so them have wear. Back in the day, if we were pants tear up, we dash it, we know if we are run, go by.
It's a trend, Trend.
Yeah, it's
trendy.
A dangerous thing.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous thing. And like me I tell you, the thing just come in a way. And all them youth and the violence. Me say the man them kill one of my little birds, from out of East Kingston, a country there. You know what I mean? I rob him and kill him. So me have to shout out to the family, a dumb boy, cause I saw. But I used to me and him I grew a long time. Me and I used to play some under 14 football and we are 45 now.
See that?
And from them time me and I used to come and me say the man I do him work and people rob him and kill him. All them things there, the little youth them not understanding. Cause nobody now teach the little youth them. Everybody remember back in the days a criminal I check our book. Whenever I know say criminal, cause criminal, when me I go home from school at daytime, criminal is to check my book to see what I go on in my book. You know? Now them criminal as them see your little picture them want to turn them in a criminal to give them gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they look for the bright one them too, Or the bright one and them I look for, And I look for the dunce one them, the bright one and them I look for,
Yeah.
I see your thing.
Yeah, man, come I tell you, I when me a big man, me I look back and say, kid, so all them man there, I didn't think that the man there I should do. The man used to go broke down people place and hide them things over some open land where we used to play, but the man, them a check our book. And I say, yeah, you know what I mean? And then man, they used to give you a $10 or a $5 and say, yeah man, you have so much tick in your book. You know, because at them time they appear ticky people I work with.
Yeah, man. True, man. Yeah, man.
And them criminals, they just want everybody turn criminal too.
Yeah, man.
Me don't know.
More everything. Them want things and them want it no.
Yeah.
Them want it no. Yeah.
We live in a microwave world, That's a
serious thing. But give thanks still. Give thanks.
Yeah, man. Respect here, madam.
Yeah,
Big up all of East Kingston. Fireball.
Which part are you say attack?
We come from out of Rockfort there, so like a Pembroke Road corner there.
Okay.
So we have to big up all the Pembroke Road youth them.
Yeah, man. I big up Rallington Town, which part I'm born to, Yeah, man.
Rallington Town are my place up at Johnson Terrace right there. So.
Oh, me a Rashford Avenue, man.
Some of them know them road, man. So
Rashford. I'll tell you from my barn. My barn right at the corner at Rashford Avenue and Leneral Street. That's some of your barn. Right.
Me used to walk them
uncle house that.
when me I go to Vauxhall.
Yeah, man, my great grand uncle house that. Yeah.
Yeah, big up yourself.
Bless.
It's a small world.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? I like the work we are doing. Go and hold it for Muta.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
People, when you follow Muta on Instagram,
yeah, man. Yeah, bless.
Yeah.
Cutting Edge on IRA FM. We go until 2 o'clock. So we're in the home stretch of the program. Roger Asfali here holding the fort for Muta. And of course later is Stepping Razor. But today for now. Greetings.
Uncle Roger.
Bless.
Brethren, believe you me, you brought forward some information there a while ago.
Yeah.
Believe me. But firstly, I must give thanks for the life of Kingston.
Right.
It's somebody I knew.
Seeing?
No matter what the people say, these sounds lead the way. You know the end.
Of course. Yes, man.
And you had a wicked one named Fire Corner. I was in Portmore the night when that brought that song down there. Jack Ruby was the set that he used to play for. He used to DJ for Jack Ruby.
Right.
I know you know the name.
Yes.
From St. Anne.
Yeah, man. Jack Ruby.
Jack Ruby High Power. I think Jack Ruby has passed on.
Yes,
also,
man. Yes.
right?
Yes.
Right.
A theme grandson named Sean Kingston, you know. Yeah, man.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, man.
Whoa. So the set still exists?
I don't know if the set exists, but I know the family still involved in a St. Anne here and the business and so on. And they renamed James Avenue Jack Ruby Avenue, you know.
It should be. It should
yeah,
be.
They did.
That sound, that quality sound back in the day. I even talk about Portmore St. Mary. Remember me telling man, the man used to bring some joy down at that place to us, man, as youngsters. Believe me. But what I really to Jack all about is the man just said the young Prime Minister. Let me not call his name because everybody knows his name.
Yes, man.
And this alliance and this friendship with Israel. The man went down Israel for a visit. And up to this day, he has not said a word to the nation about what it was about. But I think I gather what it was about. Because the Christians start jump up and down and say, you see, this is Israel and all that thing. Listen, man, if she wants to be bamboozled, or they want to be bamboozled with this Israeli thing, just to go back in history in 1948, and we see the reading and writing and what really happened to the Palestinian people. All right? But the man went down there, don't come back to the nation and say nothing. And then about 2 weeks after, Netanyahu, that is his name, the president or prime minister, whoever, a shady character, you know, because the BBC, the mouthpiece of the world and the white people,
yes,
was saying that they was to charge him for some untoward action, which he denied, and all them things. And then the man, after 2 weeks, that the young prime minister went down there, came out about, ganja is good, you know. Ganja is good, you know. And like they want to free it up down there. Check back the fact that check the BBC archive, Mr. Asphalt.
Yes.
Right? If I'm lying. Alright? So when I see that, you know, man, I said, this cannot be anything good from a country, my brethren. Because usually when the man they go out above the things, they come back and tell the nation what it's about. Because they go and represent
it. They go on behalf of the country, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then now, I hear you a while ago saying what you're saying about the surveillance of this thing. And as Mandingo said, blessed the birth of that man, Mandingo.
Yes, man.
Because whenever that man come on highway, I learn a lot of things.
True, man.
Right? And the man so must be very, extremely careful with them, the mother, what them call themselves, ISIS and IRIS and
yes, man.
All kind of things.
The Muslim extremists, them not care, no.
And Virgin, must be careful.
Yeah, man. I see your word of caution, man.
This ISIS thing, who is a real ISIS, you know. We no must just jump and call Muslim or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever. There is them. Be careful.
The extremists, them, man.
Just the extremists, right?
Yeah.
Just the extremists. All right? Because I know the thing is happening in Russia.
Right.
With this football and this football thing that is going to go on there.
World Cup.
And from day one, the World Cup. From day one, the powers that be. Britain is one of them that is strong against it. The people getting it. Because remember, as for your man up World History, there was this grouping of called themselves group of 8.
Yeah.
World leaders, man, they would meet, and it was 8 of them, 8 nations.
Yes.
And then them run out Russia for some unforeseen reason, so them going to Chechnya and all them things and go on with things. So them run them out. Right? And then all of a sudden now, this other fellow went to visit them. They say meeting what day and said something, and it seemed as if no, it's going to be the group of 6 plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
You're hearing it?
Yes.
All right. So the Putin man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm right. If I'm wrong, tell me.
Yeah.
But I like the man, you know, in terms of the man is not a yes man or suck up man. The man tell the happy people of the planet. You know what call happy people?
No. Who?
They call themselves gay.
Oh.
But I prefer to say happy. They are very happy.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And from day one, they know that Russians
don't come in my country with that.
Don't come in my country with that because I have the rules, guidelines, and regulations that govern my country. And you can't come in.
Remember them, they don't all want to take the World Cup from them. Shut
up, man, the way you call about, man.
Yes, serious thing.
You call about, man. And then now, the man said, when you come here, you're going to come here and behave yourself.
Exactly.
You're not marking off no square or putting up no rainbow colors and say you're this or that. You come as a visitor.
Right.
And then you leave when the tournament is over. Human rights people jump down on it.
Yes, man, remember. Yeah, man, and pressure them to take the World Cup from them.
All right, the latest thing now is the happy people now jumping down on Mohamed Salah from Egypt. The footballer that Rama.
Salah, Salah,
the one broke off him hand.
Yes.
Because they know so well then getting Salah out of the game.
That's what
they would lift them cup.
Yeah.
Right? Salah now appear with some Russian parliamentarian or whatever as some photo shooting. All of a sudden the happy people coming down on the fellow. Say, well then it's a political move and all them kind of thing. It shouldn't be in politics because sports and politics. All of a sudden. This is not bedfellow.
Yes.
Right, huh?
Yes.
And they are bringing in for them medicine into the man not getting the thing. But they're all right. But Salah now must not have a mind of his own. You know? So it is and then again also Putin said to his hooligans, well call them hooligans now, or people of strong mind.
Right.
Call them in and say, listen mate, we're going to be having a party. I know you fellows get out of line sometimes. Yes. But I know now, and I can find out who do this or who do that, because of my surveillance thing. These people are coming here. The British hooligans also will be coming. I don't want no problem. If them come, let them enjoy themselves. Don't cause no trouble. Long time BBC put a mic to one of the Russian bad man, them or whatever. And the Russian man say, yes, the British can come here, enjoy themselves. But don't come and go on like say, well then boy, you want come pressure way and show way up. It's going to be another thing.
Yeah.
So, asphalt, look out for what might happen.
Yeah. I was saying it today, you know. I mean,
knowing the British, my brethren.
Right, yes.
Knowing the British, my brethren. Knowing the British is not everywhere them go. Some of them can't get passport to go away, you know.
Yeah, man.
Because when them go to them country, what them do? Mash it down.
Yeah, man. Blacklisted enough of them, man.
All right.
And them still find a way through enough of them same way, you know.
very interesting times ahead.
Yeah.
Putin not going to ramp.
Yeah.
Not going to ramp. All right?
Yeah, man.
And because the man is a strong leader, you know, so when people are a strong leader or you're strong about yourself, and like you, Asphalt, who if you can't stand up to something, you're not following on anything, Asphalt.
True.
And a lot of people don't like that.
True.
You understand? And this is what the man is all about. It come like when we touch the cricket now, can I?
Yes, man.
Yeah, man. Come like our president. Right?
Well,
a lot of
Cameron?
people don't like him. Cameron. A lot of people don't like him. But I felt very good when I heard Philo Wallace, the Bayesian, was mad with certain people who was trying to disenfranchise the man and him thing because they wanted the man to do this and the man to do that. Right? And because the man stood up for certain things, like say, well, then, boy, we must contribute to the pot and all them things to get the youngsters who will come after you in the right arena. Right? And so what happened recently with this Sri Lankan thing is the first test. But my brethren, these youngsters now show that the 2020 pretty money, they were frightened them.
Yes.
There are two the two disciplines in cricket. One is test cricket, one is pretty money.
Yeah.
And not everybody can.
And test cricket is the purest form of cricket.
Absolutely.
Irrespective of what you want to say, anybody want to say. Yeah.
And what I was overjoyed about is the wicketkeeper proved me wrong because I'm a Ramdin person. I like Ramdin.
Dulwich.
Even though it's a Trinidadian, right?
Yeah.
But they gave it to the young Dulwich.
Yeah.
And I told him, all right, it's a youngster, but who own the youngsters now?
Right.
I think that's what will happen. I thought, I don't know if you were listening to the comments.
Yes, I was watching it.
80 balls, my brethren. 80 balls. The only make 5 runs. And went on to make 125 not out.
Yeah, man.
So, they are listening to the president and might be Jimmy Adams and other people in the test cricket arena. Because
at the end of the day, you know, it's test cricket that determines you as a great cricketing nation, you know. And
but it shows that you can concentrate.
Yeah. Look
your
here.
Head not full of bunkum and all them things.
As me show
and
people,
you can work your plans out.
As me show people, you know, India, them have the best T20 league in the world, but they are the #1 test country in the world.
Hold on, sir.
You see that? That's what I say? No, it's all right.
But I will give other people a chance.
Yeah, man. Give thanks, man.
It is, as Mandingo said, this Israeli thing with my country and the crackhead people, them will call themselves that name.
Yes.
Please, young Prime Minister, think again.
Yeah, man. Watch
we have our own mad people out there. We don't want the outsiders here.
Yeah, man. All right, sir.
My brethren.
Bless. Yeah. Right. Give thanks.
I used to transport you, you know.
I know, man. I know who me I talk to, man. Bless yourself, man. Bless up.
All the best, man.
Man, I'll change all him name, man.
Easy, man. That's a ranger, man.
Eh?
Yes,
I know.
Ranger, man.
Okay, I know, man. Respect, yeah?
Yeah, man.
All right.
Very good.
All right. Cutting edge here on IRA FM in the home stretch of the program. You know, we're going until 2 o'clock. Yeah. Bless. Greetings.
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah.
All right, sleep on where you can. Just get.
Yeah, man.
The business talk about the easy thing, you know?
Eh?
We just get that part there. So what was the team? What did it start off with, right?
What was the what?
So we did sleep. What is the team tonight?
The team? No, man, we just that cut and go through, man. Some current affairs and, you know, some, you know, historical facts and stuff, same way. Yeah.
Oh, because me get you part from the bedroom and talk about the Israeli and the people who draw out of the match and thing. But the Israel thing, many people too, they don't know history, they don't know Marcus Garvey. They know the relevance of, I know that Israel now just set up 1948, if you set it back. the people them who read and try to get rid of. Compared to the Bible and then the match it back with the Bible thing. You know, it's the people them are ignorant if them are here about the war with Israel and Palestine. Like them are bring the Israelites. Say, yes, I God bless people them. Just like in a cowboy show when where people are bring the.
We say I God bless people?
Israeli them. Israeli now.
Okay.
I'm Christian, you know.
So about Palestine people? No, Palestine people not God people them too?
No, according to how them analyze it from where the Bible point of view, that's how Christian look at it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, natural thing, but we will know the history and what in 1948 them settle them with a little spot of land and then they settle them take over the world, they want to take over the world place. Which is something where orchestrate come like the works of clandestine. Because them have them way to set them things all told me here at the you know. That's why some people can't really look upon it and know say. But that deep thing, is ignorant.
Yeah, man, it deep, man, it deep.
If you don't read.
Yeah, man, you have to read, man, you have to get yourself.
Reading make it the man.
Get yourself in the know.
I love history, you know.
Yeah, man. History is a guidepost of which we are guided into the true course of life, you know. Marcus Garvey heard that again. Yeah.
In the picture document, sometimes I pick it up and read it, and you know much thing me get from it, you know?
Yeah, man.
So no document now yet for me, I can't. Anything me see, I go and read me take it up.
Same.
And sometimes I say get some religious facts.
Yeah, man. All right.
Go back to everything. So nobody can bring back the Garvey party, man. Because I only can beat them to where no other party can come.
Marcus, it's still in existence, you know, but I mean, Marcus Garvey, People's Political Party attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still in existence, man. I mean, I think, yeah, man, there's still, yeah, man, Racy and Miguel and them, and, yeah, man, it's still.
Nobody know about it, not going to further compare to.
Well, you know, Jamaica go already, man. Two-head monster, just one thing them agree, you know, no third party, you know, so you find that irrespective of what, you know, I mean, what, maybe one day, you know, you just never know still.
In our history, in our civics, when we used to go to school, I had to go to civics book. Civics book say we are the government and we make up the government.
Yeah, but the other way around, yeah, the man make it like the other way around, man.
So, although I go back to the ignorance of the people, because the people never so arrogant and ignorant, then them couldn't do as them like.
Yeah, man, all these governments, them make we are the servants, you know.
Oh, and they should be the servant.
Yeah, it should be the other way around, yeah, but we are the servant, yeah.
What Marcus, you remember Marcus manifesto, what I say, you know, when them as the servants feel, you know, they put them like cheat before them family.
That is why, and that is one of the reasons why them now push this philosophy and I think opinions of Marcus Garvey, you know, because of that same thing, you know, in the manifesto, you know, because watch you know, Marcus Garvey say, yeah man, give them everything them want, you know.
Yeah, man.
Give them if them a fly and spend $9 million and $900 million for fly, make them happy, you know. But you see if them a fail the people them, you carry them out in the square and you stone them to death. That is what Marcus Garvey say, you know. That is why them afraid of Marcus Garvey. Because Marcus Garvey said them forget everything what them forget, you know. But make sure you say you serve the people, and if you not serve the people, you must be stoned to death. And that is why them don't like Marcus Garvey. That is why them afraid to push him thing. But anyway, we have to run still. We have to run. Yeah?
Yeah, you can't do it too big up.
You have to do it like in 5 seconds.
Yeah, you want big up Virgin Reality right now. Change the dread and big up my uncle son in camp around. And big up my best teacher who teach me. Teacher they say about in Glen Garf. Yeah, St. Catherine.
Alright, here?
And big up our reference.
Yeah,
Roger.
Yeah.
Let me get a number now. No one call you out of context. Because sometimes you have ideas.
No, yeah, man, but when we have for the program, call operator. Alright? Alright, bless.
Member, yeah?
Yeah, man, bless. Yeah, man, so I want to give thanks, you know, I hit that, you know, the calls, them run out now, I mean, it's a DJ Matrix in the place, and when him start playing, he's like, say, boy, I can't sleep, you know, but I'm not the foolishness with him tonight, you know.
No, you all sleep for.
I mean, what's the way I go sleep for? Why you think so easy when the money I play, I can't sleep, you know. So by the time he drop asleep, by the time I forget up, you know. Yes, people, so give thanks, you know, pleasure sitting in once again for the General Muta. You don't know, you know, give thanks to the people who call in, give thanks to all who made the program possible as well. I want to say, you know, just have a good time. Today is June the 14th. We are approximately halfway in the year. So, you know, give thanks to one and all, and, you know, just keep it locked on IRA FM, and remember, Marcus Garvey, philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey is our Bible. See him so. Our Bible, race first is not a curse. Greetings.